I actually had just gotten home from work. We were getting ready for a family reunion at my mother-in-law's house, and I had stepped into the room because I worked at a hospital, so I was going to change out of my scrubs, and I got one shoe off, and I heard screaming.
I looked out the front door first, so then I started going to the side, and then I see the gates open. So I get to the pool, he's face down, and first I pulled him out, I tried CPR, I yelled, call 911.
I instantly started CPR. I was not able to get him back to breathing. Ambulance got there fairly quickly, very thankful for that. They started CPR right away as well, rushed him to the hospital, drove us to the hospital so we can get there quickly as well. They did bring him back. Took an hour. Working in the medical field, you know, an hour for an almost 2-year-old is not good. They flew him to Loma Linda. They said that they needed lots of equipment to keep him going and that weight mattered. So I could not fly with him. So again, the cop was very nice enough to get us to Loma Linda as quickly as possible. The game plan was we'll give him 3 days. He's either gonna have a peak or he's not gonna have anything. I think night times were my hardest because I was able to lay next to him. And I would tell myself, like, the kid loved food. So I would try to bribe him. We'll give you whatever food you want, just wake up. And we would try and we would try. And so we prepped ourselves. I prepped myself.
Shock, disbelief. There's a lot of numbing that happens. And you know, what I tell people who experience that is it's very normal to experience that. Our brain, even though we know that death is expected, it's a reality of life, it's quite interesting that we still respond in that way.
There are some deaths that are expected, a long-term illness. And we have the opportunity to do what we would refer to as anticipatory grief. We realize this death is coming, and so as you recognize that, you begin to wonder what's it going to be like without them. You begin to imagine your life without this person in it. You can never imagine it fully, but at least this is something that is not unexpected, and you've done some preparation work for it, and it really can help take some of the highs and lows off of it. A sudden death is something that you don't anticipate, you can't prepare for it in any way. And so that is usually the thing that will produce something like post-traumatic stress.
It's like an amputation. So you learn to live without your arm or your leg or whatever cuts off. And that was, I mean, that as a person who hasn't lost a child, I can't explain it to you guys because it's like, there's no words. It's like you get so many emotions this way, that way. You just learn to live without your leg or, you know, I'm guessing more of your heart. Your heart gets cut out because it's like, man, your heart literally hurts.
There you go. Go, go, go.
There's a black ball which in a jar, and we think that grief gets smaller over time, but actually it stays the same. And the reason why it stays the same is we can't ever replace that person. Nobody. Even if you lose a spouse and you remarry, that person can never fill that emptiness in your heart. But what happens is actually the jar around it gets bigger. What I mean by that is we actually end up growing around the grief, new memories, new experiences, new life experiences. If a parent lost a child, they may have other children, or they may grow with the children they have, or they may use that experience to help other people. So you grow around it, and because you grow around it, it seems smaller, but the grief itself never diminishes.
The news wasn't easy, but I think I seen it coming. They gave us time with him with nobody else in the room. It was just Hugo and I. they did the test they had to do for the second time to actually declare him dead.
That first night going back home, I just laid on the carpet right next to his crib. And yeah.
Every aspect of your brain is affected. Your memory is affected, your attention to detail, your ability to concentrate. Your joy is now gone. You're more given to depressive attitude episodes. Your mood swings are huge. Anger can be a part of your life where it wasn't before. Sadness, a loss of a purpose for life. Every aspect of your being is affected by loss.
And then after that, I pulled myself together because I felt like if I wasn't strong enough, nobody was going to get through it. So somebody had to be the rock of it, and I felt it was me. I felt it was me, and I felt like, again, it had to be done. My world came crashing down on me and felt like it was stopping, but in all reality, it doesn't stop.
As a man, you're supposed to take care of your family, and I couldn't. That haunts me till today. I think, so the grieving never stops. Like, those dark days come, and I always say, like, man, I couldn't save him.
But the activities that help you get through this are just 4 activities: think, talk, write, and cry.
You learn how to get through it. You start to figure out what helps with your bad days. For me, it's music and driving. I can drive around and listen to my music, and I feel like I'll be okay.
One of the things that a lot of people that I work with that are experiencing grief do is they just shut down and they stop taking care of themselves, and they say, oh, okay, because this person is no longer alive, or because this person died, somehow I don't deserve to go on anymore. And so that is a very unhealthy way of looking at things. What we need to do is say, you know what, even though this is very sad and it is very difficult, I need to take the time to take care of myself and attend to my basic needs, like trying to get enough sleep, eating, exercise. These sorts of basic things go a long ways in recovering from grief because they improve the mind's capacity to deal with grief.
What are you doing? What are you doing? Huh? My husband and I just knew we would never want a family to go through what we're going through. We were heartbroken, and we wanted to help a family not go through that heartbreak. So we decided it. We knew nothing about organ donation. We've never came across somebody who's donated their organs. We just felt in our heart it is something we needed to do. Once everything happened and they declared him dead, they asked us about the organ donation, and we said yes, we wanted to do it.
Say cheese. Cheese. There, Mom. There, Mom.
He donated his heart to Amaris. At the time, she was 6 months old, I believe it was, came across 2 cardiac arrests within 1 day. They had said this could take months. They weren't sure she was going to make it to the months. I believe it was like a week later where everything happened with Daniel, and he was a fit for her heart.
Did he trust me for my heart for his heart?
Mm-hmm. He trusted you with his heart.
And he gave that to me.
Yeah, he gave it to you.
So I think as a healthcare worker, being in those situations, not fully understanding what families are going through, but wanting to be that support and that comfort for them, we're always looking for ways to give something to the families. I mean, obviously they're losing something great and unimaginable. And so anything we can give them to remember their child by, we want to do that.
So this is Daniel's heartbeat inside this paw. We went to Build-A-Bear about 2 weeks after he passed away, and we got his heartbeat in the paw so that we can hear it whenever we wanted to. Oh, it's a whole different feeling. I like to say it's the heart of gold. That was one of my biggest things, was coming in contact with the heart recipient. There's just something about that heart. I mean, he had a great heart. He saw somebody sad, he would go and try to comfort you. He just had so many feelings. So for me, I felt like it's gonna go to that same person. And she's such an amazing little girl.
As a culture, especially in North America, we're afraid of strong emotions. We don't deal well with them. But to normalize an expression of grief, to normalize our pain, to normalize talking about the feelings that we're going through and our memories, the positive and the negative, that's the key.
If you're the person that's grieving, walk into it knowing that people are typically very terrible at comforting us. And I say that because they may be trying their best to comfort us, but we've often felt really uncomfortable with emotions as individuals, that we try to fix it or we try to dismiss it. And so just know, be kind to them. You know, there's often like a list of things of what not to say when a person's grieving, but most people are not educated. They have good intentions many times. And so one, don't just eliminate or cancel people from your life because they're not supporting you. And then try to be proactive to share with people what you need. Now, on the side of if you're the friend that's trying to help, I recommend that you ask the person, how can I help you?
My encouragement to you is to show up and shut up. If you show up, they can't say you weren't there. If you shut up, you can't say anything incredibly stupid. And if you say anything that begins with, well, at least, you've just minimized their pain. Don't try to fix it. Don't try to look for the bright side. Be present with them in the pain, because that's what grief looks like. Obviously, there's support you give right at the funeral, but now there needs to be long-term support, where you check in, where you continue to ask, what can we do? And not just ask, but show up and do things. Because people will they don't want to be an imposition. No, we're going to bring you food. What do you want to eat? Because we're bringing you food. Your yard needs attention. I know he did your yard. We're going to do your yard for you today. Those kinds of things are just practical expressions of love. And you can be intrusive with this, but I think most people with some of these things, if you know them well enough, you know what you can offer, what you can't.
Often grief can turn into depression. If I notice that my sadness, my lack of motivation and so forth actually permeates my entire life, not just I'm sad about the loss. So one thing to consider grief versus depression, grief is specific to the loss. I'm sad about the loss. And depression starts becoming this disinterest in life. And then there's an impairment in life that doesn't allow me to move forward. And so especially that key point of moving forward, if you can't move forward, I would recommend for people to come and get some help.
You can easily go into depression, easily. I had to keep moving to not get there. And that's what I really suggest, is keep moving, keep going.
Everybody's grief is very unique, and there's no right pathway, if you will, for experiencing grief. And I think that is important not only for self-acceptance, but also in understanding that it is normal to have a unique experience, so that you're not beating yourself up through that process.
We did not have any therapy. We just strictly went to that in church. We did feel that without God, we wouldn't have been able to get through this. On our bad days, He's the one that's helping us get through them. You want to ask Him why. You want to ask Him all the whys. Why us? Why? What did we do? Why do we deserve this? You know? And then I sit back and it's like, there's other people who needed help. And it was through Him. Do we agree with it? No. Do we accept it? Yes. We accept it and it helps us.
It's okay to be even angry at God after a loss. So many people feel that, well, if I'm angry at God, then I'm in trouble with Him. But God understands our anger.
And I know this might sound kind of strange in a way, but sometimes we need to kind of like almost go through the process of forgiveness of God. Because, sometimes we want to blame God because, God, why did you allow this to happen to me? Why did you allow my little boy or my little girl to die? Why did you allow, this person to get cancer? I needed them right now. And so it's not fair, God. And so we want to blame God and we want to get angry with God. But the truth is that God sees the end from the beginning, and He ultimately, we don't understand all the reasons why He allows things, but what we do know is that someday we will see that big picture, and He'll help us to understand more.
We went through to a grieving group as well, and that was awesome. Listen to other people's stories and know that what we're feeling is not anything abnormal. So I think that's what also made us get through it a lot stronger, was to show people we're okay. We're going to be okay. And I felt like when you do have those tough days, you have nothing to do but to pray. You have nothing to do but to pray and hope that it helps you get through the rest of that day. I don't care about the next day. I just wanted to get through that day. And that's how we had to see it. We had to take it day by day.
Prayer can be an important tool for healing. However, the God you pray to matters. If prayer to a negative, critical, fault-finding, performance-based God actually releases negative hormones in the brain, which destroy spirituality and will impede your process of healing. But prayer to a God of compassion who's engaged in your life, a God of grace who accepts you as you are, who freely forgives, affect positive changes in your brain and your body will help in the healing process.
Shaking it off. You gotta go see the sunlight for like an hour, go bathe in the sun, go watch trees grow, go play. If you have other kids, go play with them, even if it's hard.
Without hope, we perish. Without hope, we become fatalistic. Without hope, depression has no cure. Hope gives us the promise of something better. Without hope, there's no reason to try. There's no reason to go on. Hope gives you the reason to live.
God has the wheel, God has the steering wheel, and you just let Him drive, and you do what you can, and then pray for what you can't do.